Thank you everyone so much. Can you hear me okay? I'm like the most soft-spoken person on radio, I swear. Thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. Nina and I are deeply honored to receive this award from the UMass Dartmouth Labor Education Center. Thank you for recognizing our work. We share this honor with the more than 24 children who trusted us with their stories. Those kids told us about coming to the US alone, in some cases swimming across the border, and needing to find work immediately. They did what immigrants in New Bedford have done for decades. They applied for work at staffing agencies and were placed in jobs at seafood processing plants. Many of the kids we talked to worked long hours at the plants at night, filleting and packaging seafood, then tried to go to school during the day. But they couldn't keep up such a grueling schedule for very long.
As we reported this story, we realized that a lot of the adults in those kids' lives knew that teens were working in seafood processing plants. We're talking about teachers, guidance counselors, attorneys, but many of these people didn't want to say anything to us or to regulators because they knew the sort of economic necessity that these jobs held in teenagers' lives. There was also a lot of finger pointing. So the staffing agencies where kids told us that they got their jobs said that they weren't to blame because teens had used fake IDs to get work. The seafood processing plants said staffing agencies were the one responsible for verifying workers' ages. And regulators told us that they didn't have the resources to conduct lengthy investigations. That's back to you.
What I think a lot of times we forget is that these are kids. They may have had adult responsibilities, but they're children. They would tell us about the latest gossip in school, the best music to listen to, and about the soccer players they admired most. I even joined an intramural soccer team just so I could learn about the game, I swear to you, and I was the worst player on the team. But I YouTube searched like all the top players and Ronaldo and all these. I was like, oh my gosh, it was like in above my head. But at least I was, at least I was able to have a conversation and like know my basic soccer. So yeah, it was great talking to them.
Yeah, I think sort of what you're saying is there was a lot of effort to understand that the people we were talking to were teenagers and children who had lives and interests and heartbreak and all of those kinds of things. But what I'm supposed to say is that, we are, as many folks have mentioned, a week out from a presidential election, and there's a lot of uncertainty, particularly around immigration and labor, and we don't know what's going to happen to the systems in place that are meant to protect these kids and other workers, and it's, there's a possibility that the situation is going to get more difficult, and it's going to be harder to report abuses or seek protection under labor laws. We will see. And I think that what Nadine and I hope is that investigative journalists, maybe the two of us, hopefully other people too, will continue to do this reporting and look at these issues because that's what we can do.
And I just want to bring up just one point. This is more personal to me, but it really shows how much anything that you work on requires a team of people. I got a major disability when I started this investigation, and then Nina joined with me. And I was battling through that, and I still am throughout the investigation, and talking to these teens. And sometimes I would have incidents in front of these teenagers who were incredibly supportive and wonderful. But I did want to thank my husband, Miguel, who's over there. Hi. I just want to, this really is about the kids, but we wouldn't have been able to tell those stories, especially me being able to talk to these kids, if it wasn't for his support and for his push to help me continue, and Nina as well. Nina was with me throughout the entire time. So I'm really happy that we were able to bring these stories to light. We have known about teenagers working in seafood processing plants for decades, as I mentioned. It was an open secret for a long time. Many people were fearful of speaking. That was our biggest challenge in reporting out this story. But I think because of it, we've learned a lot, and we are starting the process, hopefully, of creating a better future for these kids. Thank you so much.
you.